Hey yo, it's your boy, Special K.
Special K. Tell him.
Yeah, this podcast contains scenes of violence, adult language, and disturbing subject matter. Listener discretion is heavily advised.
So advised.
Just a big shout out to my crew. Glade, Juno, Pyotr, and Lift.
Don't forget to
Let's go! Got a huge wang, and I know how to use it. Get out my way, or I'm gonna fucking lose it. Big swinging balls like I fucking play place. Step up or fuck off. Get out my face. You're nothing but trash that I'm here to sweep.
OMG. I'm so happy we get to hang out.
Totes, me too. Is that your baby?
Yeah. Is that your baby?
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I feel disappointed in our babies.
OMG. Thank you for saying that. These things suck.
Do you have a stupid, shitty, and ugly baby?
Uh-huh.
Is your baby basic as fuck? No edge to the little crotch goblin whatsoever?
Totally. Jesus fuck.
Well, worry no more. With Osh Gosh Bufuck You, your tiny little turd might actually be worth a damn.
Wow, thank God. I was going to throw this little fuck in the bin.
But how will your products redeem our teeny little bundles of mediocrity?
I'm so glad you asked. With our Edge Gremlin line, your wailing puddle of genetic material can become a statement.
Wow, this one says, you're a stupid cunt.
Nice! This one says, if I could keep my head level, I'd bite your dick off.
Awesome!
Buy your Osh Gosh Bufuck You apparel on the Galactinet or visit our exclusive dealer in the Gate City sector, Lil Turds, located in the Nexus Market of Gate City.
Do you guys ever think that maybe like Tipper Gore and the whole monitor media thing was right?
Hello and welcome to The Stars Aren't All Right, a podcast set in the far future using the Call of Cthulhu rule set. My name is Brian, and I will be your keeper for the foreseeable future. Tonight, let's do something a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, and a little bit different. And let's go around the table and introduce our players and our characters. But before I do that, Catherine, could I get a non-geographical location?
Like non-geographical...
Location, yeah.
Like it exists outside the realms of time and space. It cannot be located using any coordinate system.
Oh, Gondolin.
Gondolin, as in the elvish city of Gondolin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you were looking for? Or were you looking
Not
for
at
like...
all.
Okay.
Geographical.
It's non-geographical. You need to be more specific.
Non-geographical. Well,
So like...
non-geographical, like a closet or like a thing.
Okay.
But I appreciate the Lord of the Rings reference. You were playing to the crowd.
I
on
like
that one.
Gondolin. Yeah.
Okay, let's. Okay.
No.
Let's do
I can
Gondolin.
do this. I can do this.
In Gondolin.
Closet, yeah.
A closet and
No.
a Gondolin.
It's
if you will.
like a blanket fort made with a table, but in a household in Gondolin. So you put the blanket over the table, and then it's kind of like a blanket fort.
If I was
table,
doing an
blanket
improv
fort.
show and this was the get, I'd be like, so what else do we got? Any other idea? But we're gonna do it. Let's start with Tom. Could you introduce yourself, your character, and what would Lift do in a
in a blanket fort
under a table in the fabled elvish city of Gondolin, which famously fell in the first age? I want to say second age.
Second age. Hi.
Famously.
I am just stricken by the requirements of introducing myself. My name is Tom, and I play Lift. If Lift were to find himself neath a table turned blanket fort in the elvish city of Gondolin, is this pre or post sacking?
You know what? Dealer's choice.
I would have just woken up, and it's been sacked. So I would see just how many orcs I could convince that there were elves under the table, and then one by one knife them.
Okay. So it would be a murder pit.
Sure.
I actually feel like all of that is very believable for Lift. Catherine.
Hello, I am Catherine, and I play Juno Angevin, our local televangelist and troublemaker, kind of, by accident. Also checks out. If Juno was under a table made blanket fort, in Gondolin, I feel like the location actually doesn't matter, and I'm sorry. She would be thrown back to a time where her and her mentor, Tenjin, would play when she was quite little, and they would climb into this kind of blanket fort that they had made and take off all the lampshades from the lamps around them. And as the light bulbs would heat up, they would pretend that they are roasting marshmallows over them as if they are on Earth and having a proper fire. And she would wrap herself in a blanket and feel all comfy and at home and miss Tenjin in those times.
That was very heartfelt. Thank you, Catherine.
Get ready for fuckery.
All right. Immediate thank you rescinded. All right.
Speaking of which.
Speaking of, Leah.
I'm Leah, and I am playing Glade Walker, your mysterious emo fuckboy.
I always wanted one of those.
Don't we all?
Just the responsibility, because you have to feed it and walk it and like
buy an MCR album.
Constantly move the hair out of its face.
Yeah, they have a ton of breathing problems, honestly.
And she'd be fucking the elf ladies under the table.
Ooh. Hell yeah. Short, sweet, and to the point, much like I imagine Glade's elvish lovemaking. All right, amazing. Alex.
Hey, I'm Alex Collins, and I'll be playing Bin Baby from outside Oshkosh, but fuck you. And if the Bin Baby was under the table, it would probably try and fail to hold its head up and look around for somebody to feed it.
Holy shit.
We're off to a strong start today, guys. And I recognize how much of that is on me. All right. And then your actual character, Pyotr.
So I actually play Pyotr Gaius Maitland. And if Pyotr was under a table in the Elvish City of Gondolin, he would wake up just like he woke up in the study room at Unicity and bonk his head on the table and then start wandering around looking for something to drink and probably be mistaken for Gollum and shot with an arrow or something.
Aren't elves like quite socialist?
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
Elves were incredibly racist even amongst themselves.
But in terms of
you can be racist and socialist.
You can be racist and socialist.
Yeah, Norway. Duh.
Yeah. Norway.
For our one Norwegian listener.
Yeah. Like,
hey, that's offensive. Hey is spelled H-E-J.
Must have been the wind.
Oh man, my apologies to our Nord listeners. Anyway, but I think elves were actually pretty aristocratic. Actually, maybe almost like theocratic. Really.
Yeah. Keep in mind that Tolkien was like this far away from being an ultramontane Catholic supremacist. So.
Yeah, described himself as more of an anarchist, though. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
but he described himself that way.
Yeah.
I think that's just any post-World War I survivor vibe.
That's fair. Yeah. Realistically. All right. Okay. Well, now that we've covered all of that very specific to the podcast information, let's get into a recap. All right. Last session. After Brian forgot to mention that our heroes had learned that, quote, mankind has never achieved faster than light travel, end quote, from Pyotr's mysterious contact in episode 8, he then went on a heavily medicated, feverish ramble for several hours, wherein Gio Namara sat down with you guys and revealed that he didn't actually give a shit about Juno, besides having a general disdain for her ideology and politics, but that it was all a ruse to get Glade and Lift to the station together. They wanted Lift's memories and needed 2 Reapers to make the process less taxing on Lift. Glade didn't wanna, so she asked for 200 Gs, and Gio agreed instantly. She then tacked on that she'd like to forget some details as well, and the witness agreed to make that right with the scribe, a cybernetic specialist who could grant Reapers their erased memories. Pyotr wanted to close the deal to sell the book, but Gio hinted that he wanted to sort out his arrangement with Lift and Glade first, before closing the deal on the book. And then he did, however, close his deal to sell the leftover lube from the ship to Sometimes Dog, and made 1,001 credits at the cost of nightmares in the form of implied furries. Glade successfully white-fanged Juno, who wandered off dejected into the station. Our Reapers went to a ship that had just docked, the Papillon, and met the scribe's hacked Nedled, who led them inside. Who Ned led them inside? Yeah, let's go with that. After some light flirting with the hot scribe, who identified her name as Dahlia, the two entered their memories. It was then revealed that Glade and Lift had been part of the same elite team that had been working for Admiral Colinar Knox. Lift was a first lieutenant, and Glade was a sergeant under his command. They met with the man in the blood-red suit, who introduced himself as Michael Wormwood and sounded an awful lot like Doug. They discussed the mission, which was retrieving information from the city of Shinjitsu, of the Shinjitsu tragedy. They relived the memory, including the painful recollection of Lift losing everyone on his team but Glade, and that the Navy, at the behest of Michael Wormwood, had been the ones to destroy Shinjitsu, not the witnesses. Lift learned the secret behind gate travel was actually a creature referred to as the Angel, and that it fed on people in some capacity to enable space travel. Glade learned that her face had been used against her will as part of a propaganda piece that both covered up the Navy's culpability for the destruction of Shinjitsu and spun it to make it look like the Reapers were heroes. Let's start with our two Reapers. After the memory ends, you two are in a kind of mind fog sort of space. You're not aware of your present surroundings. All you can see is this kind of like white expanse, and then you hear Dahlia's voice. And she just says, "Are you guys okay?"
I'm upset.
Yes, that's normal. Glade, do you still want me to erase those other memories for you?
I'd say Glade is unresponsive.
Like medically, or just is not responding?
It could be a medical thing, maybe both.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to make some dice rolls then.
What's happening with her?
She clicks a button and she looks up at you from like kind of behind her monitor, and you can see like she is like wiping away tears from her face because Juno didn't actually see this. So you just...
No, Juno didn't see anything.
As your hand has been death gripped by Glade.
Sorry, really quick. Which hand?
That's up to you. You decide which hand.
No, I feel like it'd be Juno decides. Okay, yeah. Which hand did you grab? Left or right?
If you're lying down, I would be on your left side. So let's say your left hand with my right hand.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, she looks up at you and she says, she might be going into shock. Can you check her pulse?
Yes. Yes, I can do that.
So I will say to Glade, is this a medical thing? Like, you decide.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
She has no pulse. She has no pulse. She has to be dead.
Was it a persuade roll?
It was almost a persuade roll. It was an 81.
Okay.
No idea.
No idea. I'm just like grabbing her shoulders, like, no pulse. No pulse.
And you look over to Dahlia, who you can see is just like fully ignoring you and is going, oh no, that's terrible. And is like looking at her computer, and you can tell that like Dahlia gave you that task to keep you occupied while she actually tried to manage the problem.
Aren't you listening to me? You're not even listening to me.
Glade, make a con check with a bonus dice. And she says, yeah, no pulse. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that situation.
I just rolled a 1.
Holy
Wow.
motherfucker.
Wowee.
You're probably at full hit points, right?
I am.
Okay. You know what? Go ahead and gain a luck. Just for rolling a 1.
Wow.
Damn.
Get a luck.
Trauma looks good on me.
Yeah.
It always has, my darling.
All right. I would say, Glade, you snap back to like awareness of reality from whatever place you were. And I leave the details of that up to you. You are still in this kind of brain fog, like white expanse with Dahlia's voice in your ear. And she repeats the question of whether or not you want your memories erased.
Highs or lows? Lift.
I'm a high roller.
Glade doesn't respond.
Okay. You can see, Juno, you see Dahlia just kind of sigh, and she looks up at you and she says, she's physically fine. Kind of swallows, and she's like, that never really gets easier to see. She's physically fine. I think she just needs a bit of time. And then she starts click-clacking away on her computer.
So you found her pulse. She's okay.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I still can't find it.
Sweetie, that's fully her elbow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm better with ears. Just to be...
What?
That's fine. Did you see what she saw?
Yes, I did.
How should I proceed?
I mean, gentle is probably good advice. It can be hard to tell with women like her, because she might just need you to act like everything is normal until she decides to bring it up. I don't know her, so take that advice with the grain of salt it deserves.
Thank you. I will wait here.
I think she would seem to appreciate that. So are you two, like, together?
Together? I mean, we've been together for quite some time. However,
really?
She did leave me to die with this man once, but
And you didn't break up with her?
break up with her.
Like, if my girlfriend left me to die with a crazy man.
No, but this is not. No, but I know. She's no.
Okay, I mean, I respect you for staying with your girlfriend after that. Like, I just can't imagine.
No. I'm not her girlfriend.
Oh.
We just spend a lot of time together, and
You don't want to label it.
I
get it.
You're not always very comfortable, are you? And I think I have to... I'm very confused, to be honest. We spent a lot of time on that ship, and she was very suave, and I drank a lot of wine. And regardless of, as you said, labels, I care about her deeply.
Okay.
And, however, I don't think she would appreciate being tied down.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe from her.
So, well, as of right now, she is not in a relationship, and nor am I. And we will figure that out when our lives are not in danger.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
So she's single?
I still don't entirely like you.
Harsh. Okay. Message received. I get it. And then she clicks something very much with the air of clicking send on something. I'm going to try our Reapers again. She hits the button and she says, Glade, can you hear me?
Unresponsive.
Okay. Episode 10. It's just that's
Unresponsive.
we'll end tonight's episode. Now, yeah, and it's just 2.5 hours of silence. We just did a bunch of dumb ads, dumb improv game, and then we just 2.5 hours of silence.
This is what you wanted, Brian.
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. This is exactly the story I was hoping we would all tell together. Let's go out to the bar briefly, and let's hang out with Pyotr for a second. What's going through Pyotr's mind as he sits there at the bar?
Pyotr is sitting in a state of pure inebriated greed, in the absolute utter rapture and fascination with the possibility that he may soon be the proud owner of 100,000 credits and have his magnum opus, the fundamentals of the principles of historical astro-economics, published in every single academic paper across the galaxy.
Fundamentals of the principles of astro-economics?
Of historical astro-economics.
Historical astro-economics. Okay. All right.
I think I fall asleep each time before getting to the end of that.
Unresponsive.
Every student in Pyotr's lecture hall, unresponsive.
And so Pyotr is scanning the bar now that he's had about 5 or 6 drinks, each of which was a triple, and looking for anybody that he remotely could go up to and start bragging about this upcoming accomplishment, so long as that person does not look like they're in Sometimes Dogs Puddle. Because he's done with yelling at that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's have you roll some dice here. How about make an appraise check? That just feels how Pyotr would try to read a room.
So unsurprisingly, that's a fail.
A fail. Yeah, you 100% see this young couple sitting at one of the booths. 100%. You can go talk to them for sure.
Amazing. And do I have any idea what they would fetch at auction?
Oh, on a failure, probably at least 500 credits for the pair.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep.
I'll walk up to them and go, good morning, evening, madame, monsieur, may I join you?
And the guy looks up at you and he says, well, and then they're obviously like a newlywed couple, and the wife just says, fuck no, who the fuck are you?
I just saw you looking at me from across the bar, and I thought perhaps you knew of my work.
Absolutely. We weren't looking at you. You were staring at us with your mouth open.
I have to breathe
for
somehow.
Several minutes.
The oxygen in the station is clearly low, and I see. Are you newly married? Or is this a betrothal? Or
we're married. We're fully married. We're not looking for a third.
Well, I think you're very much misreading my intentions, and I see you may have had run-ins with other denizens of this particular establishment.
You've met the Puddle? They're so lovely.
And Pyotr's going to turn around and walk back to his table. To be clear, it's the acceptance of other people and their different ways of life that is disgusting him in this moment.
Hell yeah.
And he sits there and presses the scotch button again.
Amazing. At this point, the bartender... Actually, go ahead and make a con check for me as Pyotr. Not as Alex, I guess. I don't know why I specified that.
That's a success.
A success. Okay.
Yeah, surprisingly.
The bartender brings the scotch over, but he's got this scotch in one hand and a big tall glass of water in the other. And he's coming over like, I'm going to cut off the fucking drunkie. But you look at him surprisingly coherently, and he just looks shocked. And he just kind of looks you up and down and goes, "What are you?"
I am the author of the next biggest paper in interstellar academia. And thank you for the hydration. That's very important. It's quite dry on this space station.
He just puts both drinks down in front of you and he says, "Well, tell me about it."
Oh.
Wow.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. The fundamentals of the principles of historical astro-economics.
Strap in, folks.
I can start explaining it to him, and I'll start with chapter 1, which is actually just a lengthy biography and hagiography of the Maitland family name and family clan, just going all the way back to like Alastair Maitland. We're named alphabetically, by the way.
Yes, okay, wow. All right.
And so he's going to start with that, who was an Alastair Maitland was actually just a very dour Scotsman. He lived in China, but he was a very dour Scotsman. And then he'll go through that. And at some point here, this waiter is going to need to make a con check, I think.
Alrighty. He barely succeeds.
Okay. So he manages to hang on until Bertrand Bertifer Maitland. And then Pyotr goes, but you will have to, of course, read the paper yourself after subscribing to it on Elsevier, which somehow is still fucking around. And I wouldn't want to, deprive them of the royalties, and myself of the royalties after that. Anyways, fascinating stuff. Might be a little above your pay grade, my friend, but you know what? I'm sure you can have someone read it to you.
He just staring at you with his eyes just like fully glazed over, and then he just nods.
Oh, right, a tip, of course. And I take just like the smallest cred stick I have with like 1 or 2 creds on it, and I just slide it into his open mouth.
And then he just like his eyes kind of narrow, and he pulls it out, and he's like, if that didn't tick several boxes for me, you'd be in deep shit. But
I have had enough with the ticking of the boxes and the shit. Thank you very much. Now leave me to drink in peace.
Okay, fine. Yep. All right. Wanders off. And let's leave Pyotr.
Why? I was getting so much plot done, Brian.
We're just warming up, baby. Yes.
Am I ruining things by being quiet?
You're not ruining things by being quiet.
Am I ruining things by not being quiet?
Almost constantly. Well, let's still leave Pyotr. let's leave Pyotr at the bar. Lift.
Yeah.
You hear Dahlia's voice in your mind again. It just says, "Hey, I'm going to just offer this to you once. You can say no. Would you like a light sedative?"
Nah.
No.
Got a lot to think about and process. I feel like drugs would, get in the way of that.
Yeah, I agree. But this isn't, I don't really know what the medical term is, but I just don't want you to feel like you have to raw dog this experience.
Oh, I mean, I already have, right? So what's the harm of doing it twice?
I suppose.
It's just, a very stupid part of me thought that the things that were missing would at least be, a little more happy than what they are. A little bit.
Yeah.
But it turns out that they're not very happy at all. I mean, they're mostly quite sad. And that's tough.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, hey, you know what? Here in this ethereal whiteness, it could have been worse. I always kind of hung out with Glade because she was tough and cool and was taking care of everybody. But now it makes a little bit more sense because she was tough and cool and taking care of everybody even when I was in charge of people.
Yeah.
So now I guess I can be tough and cool and take care of her when things eventually go to shit.
I think she might need that, actually.
Yeah. So that'll get me through, I think.
Yeah, I like that. You seem like a good guy, Lift.
Thank you, God Lady.
Is that Lift? Is he okay? He has a pulse.
He does. You checked on the forum this time, which is, I think, an improvement. Yeah, he's fine. He's processing. You can't hear any of this, by the way, Lift. Yeah, he's processing. I'll let them talk to you about what the memory was.
I have something for him, but if he can't hear us yet, then I guess I can wait.
Okay. It might be nice for him to have something when he wakes up.
You are right. I'm still not sure about you, but you do have good advice. Juno takes, starts digging around in one of the deep pockets of her robe, and her fingers wrap around this smooth little object and pull a smooth stone out of her pocket. Now, Lift, I know you can't hear me, but I didn't have this before we got on the ship. And, suspiciously, I did have it when we got off of the ship. I imagine it's yours, and I imagine you put it here for a reason. You can keep sneaking it into my pocket if you like, but it's my turn to sneak it into yours. And she puts the stone in his hand and wraps his hand around it.
Okay. Lift you wouldn't feel any of that. I will say, let's go back to Glade. Unresponsive. Pyotr. No, I'm just kidding.
Juno.
Yeah, Juno. Yeah. Donkey. Yeah, this has just all been a segue to tell the Shrek movie as a story. We just recap it in the Call of Cthulhu universe.
If you listen to all of the ads backwards, it's actually just Smash Mouth.
Somebody once. Glade, you find yourself standing in your father's shop. There's no noise around, like none of the usual buzz of the station. You don't hear any susurrus of voices. It's just you in the shop. What does Glade do? Haven't been here for years.
Does Glade feel like it's like present her in the shop?
Yep, feels like present, yeah.
Oh, okay. She's going to, look around and probably look at the spot where she saw her father die. Is there anything there?
It looks like when you first kind of glance at it, it doesn't really seem like there's much there, but when you look closer, it looks like there was a stain that could probably be very easily mistaken for oil, like an oil spill that kind of seeped into the concrete floor that you do recognize as the spot where your father was killed.
Okay, she walks over to it shakily and like gets down on her knees and like touches it with her hand to like see what it is.
As your fingers touch the cold concrete, this shiver crosses your body as if you just kind of like stepped into like a cold patch of air. And then you hear a child's voice behind you go, "He's not here, Glade."
She whips around to look at where the voice is.
And in a very surreal experience for you, you find yourself looking down at Felix. His mouth is not covered in gore as it was the last time you saw him, but he does still have deep purple bruises on the side of his neck. And he's looking up at you with wide, fearful eyes.
She starts to back up. I think a panic starts to take over her completely.
I know, I'm scared too.
Let me out. Let me out!
Glade, no one can hear you.
She just keeps screaming, "Let me out, let me out, let me out."
As you do so, you feel like you scream until your throat is raw. And Juno, as you're outside, you can just see Glade's throat tightening and tightening and tightening and then relaxing, and then tightening and tightening and tightening and then relaxing. For Juno, yeah, this has only been a few seconds. Maybe about 20 seconds or so. But for Glade, it feels like you are screaming for hours. And Felix is just standing there, staring at you with wide eyes.
Help! Help! I think she has too much of a pulse now. Too much of her throat.
I think her pulse is optimal.
I
think that's optimal pulse.
She's going. Something is happening, and
Yes.
you aren't.
Look, it's light touch, okay? Light touch with this kind of thing. It's like a butterfly trying to leave its cocoon. You try to help it out. It needs to struggle on its way out, okay?
So what can I do?
Exactly what you're doing. Just be here.
She's in pain, and I can see it.
It sucks. It sucks to sit where you're sitting.
You don't understand. I
I understand completely. Do you know how many of these fucking soldiers who have been broken by their service that I see? Don't fucking tell me I don't understand. Who the fuck are you? No. Don't you tell me I don't understand. I know exactly what it fucking feels like, except that I don't get to hold their hand while it happens. And I don't get to actually take care of them afterwards. They get on my ship. I say, "Here's your trauma," and then they leave. I can't do shit. You get to sit with her, and you're going to get to sit with her after. So don't give me that fucking shit like I don't understand. You don't have to like me. I don't care. That's fine. But just don't give me that shit.
I think I told myself the same thing when I thought I was helping people for so long. And now I know better. I will stay here and be with her.
All right. Catherine, are we cool?
I just get very into it.
Yeah, same. Yep, that makes sense.
I just want to fight with Brian in a fantasy world all
Yeah,
the time.
That makes sense. I have that effect on people. Let's go back to Glade.
Glade, panicking, like stops screaming for a second and looks at her waist, desperately looking for her masks.
You don't see was it a leather bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that leather bag attached. And then Felix just says, "Why are you trying to hide from me? I'm the only one who knows what you're hiding from."
But no, everyone knows. They all saw my face.
He just tilts his head. You've been hiding for a really long time, Glade. We were kids, and we were hungry. It was an accident.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't change. Doesn't change that I'm a fucking murderer.
I know. And he kind of takes a step towards you, and then his features start to change, and you recognize over the course of the minute or so that his face seems to morph and change, and it turns into the kill mask, except the mouth opens and speaks, and the eyes poke through the mask, and they are Felix's eyes. And you just hear in this voice, it just says,
"The murderer has kept you safe, Glade."
Yeah. I need it.
Yes. I'm always here to protect you, Glade.
Tell me, how do I get out of this?
Just wake up.
Dahlia, I want to wake up!
whoosh, all of a sudden, you're in the white space again. And she says, "Okay, we can bring you up." And then there's a little voice in the back of your mind. And as you can hear, two of these voices are speaking at the same time. Physically, in your head and in real time, you can hear Dahlia offering again, say, "Hey, do you still want me to erase this? And we can go back and we can erase the others." And then you hear the voice of the kill mask.
Glade, if you erase those memories, you erase me. You will be naked and alone before the storm.
Just wake me up, Dahlia, now.
Okay. And the two of you open your eyes.
Immediately, Glade just starts like struggling. Get me out of these fucking restraints.
It's Glade. Glade, you're okay. It's just
Fucking get me out of this.
Okay,
And she starts
okay,
like struggling.
And Juno clumsily tries to undo her restraints, but does it eventually.
Dahlia just goes, whoa. Okay, we just need, sorry.
Let me out.
Okay, we're going to.
Let me out right now.
Glade, we just need,
Just fuck.
we need to just establish a baseline, okay?
Let me out. And Glade releases her cyberblade from her wrist to cut the bond.
Okay. Go ahead and make a brawl check for me.
What hand is it on?
The right.
Now I see why you got Juno to pick.
Yeah.
Fair. 50-50 chance.
50-50.
Hard success.
Hard success. Slice right through.
And I also need to do another check.
Yes.
For the blades.
For the cybernetic, yeah.
Y'all. I'm
Success?
good.
That's
Success.
great. Yeah, because if you failed, you would have died, so fair enough. Yeah, so the blade pops out. You cut your one hand free. What are you doing?
And then I go to cut my other wrist free.
Okay.
My hands are actively on it.
Just stop fucking touching me. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Well, I have water and I have snacks and I brought you everything. I mean, I didn't know what you'd like, so I bought everything that they had available. I don't know if you like.
Goes, Juno, not me. Just take a step back. Take a step back. And you can see Dahlia like kind of standing up with like her hand out towards you, and she's like, okay. And she looks down at your wrist blade. She's like, that's fucking awesome. But look. Hey, okay, relax. All right, nobody's gonna hurt you. But then you hear this, and you see the Ned LED in the corner just activate. It's not stepping towards you yet, but it is, it has powered back up.
Okay, so Glade cuts the other wrist.
Right.
Her legs are bound too?
Yes.
Okay, she's like going down, desperately going to cut her ankles.
Already. Lift. You are awake as well. It's kind of coming to.
Yeah, I'm a shiny rock. That's nice.
Complete opposite.
I'll strain it. The restraints. Wow. Uh-huh. What was our safe word, Dahlia? I'm still shackled. I don't remember what to say to get out. Open sesame.
I think you're fine.
Okay.
But we're kind of having a situation. Maybe you can help with it. And you look over and you see
Oh, shit.
Glade with a blade coming out of her wrist.
Glade. That'd be a cool name, too. Oh. Hey. I'm still shackled up. You seem to be panicking. Can I offer you a shiny rock in this difficult time? I can't give it to you. I have to reach over, but I'll proffer the shiny rock.
Go ahead and make a persuade check.
Okay.
I want the dice gods to smile on this. I want this so badly.
That's a fail.
That's a fail. Okay. Juno, what are you doing besides preferring snacks?
I'm just like grabbing handfuls of snacks off of the table behind me and just being like, salty, sweet? What do you want?
This is 100% Juno's thing. She sees somebody like sprout a blade from their wrist and obviously flying into a murderous rage and is like, low blood sugar. For sure. 100%.
Did you sleep well recently? Juno turns around and kind of hears the Nedled starting up. Turns around. Nope. Not you. She is just getting out of the restraints. She'll be fine. We've seen this before. She's mostly fine, but you just stand down.
Do I get snacks?
Do you prefer salty or sweet?
I'm more of a sweet tooth kind of guy.
And she just hucks.
It just hits you in the head.
Hits in the forehead. Bounces off.
Still bound. Can't do anything about
Your
it.
aim is terrible.
I'll be there in a second. You stand down. Lift. I'm on my way.
Thank you.
Glade, go ahead and make another brawl check for me. Sorry, Alex. We'll have you be in the podcast in a plot-specific way.
No, I'm good.
He's like full on.
Do I get a bonus die?
No, because I don't like you anymore. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's because your feet. I feel like it would be awkward.
That's a hard success.
Hard fucking success. Yeah, you cut your feet free as well. I won't make you do one for each foot because, yeah, you're free. What are we doing?
I feel like Glade kind of like stumbles forward on all fours, kind of looking around on the ground, looks at her waist.
Bag is there.
Bag is there. She, I don't know, maybe like kind of scrambles like behind the chair.
Sure.
Just kind of away. And I guess Juno would be the closest person to me?
Yes.
Sorry to DM. Can you make a listen check for me?
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
That's a hard success.
Okay, you hear Glade like say, "I'm sorry, Juno." Glade pulls out the mask from her leather satchel, pulls off her butterfly mask, and slides it on her face.
Oh, shit.
Which mask?
The third mask.
The one that none of us have seen, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
So anyone, I don't know, I'm assuming people were watching her, right? So she was probably like super shaky and everything and like trembling. And as soon as that third mask goes on, all of a sudden she's just still. And they slowly stand up.
Okay.
Dahlia.
She goes, what the fuck is up with that mask?
I have never seen it. Not even in the dream. Sarge?
What are you sorry for? You have nothing to be. Oh, that's new. But she does this and then she changes, and actually there's one that's quite suave. And who is this one?
So Glade turns around, and as all of you are acting very shocked, she's wearing this kind of like slightly like twisted, melted metal mask. Almost looks like burnt or charred, and looks to have numerous stains on it, which, I mean, you could guess is blood. And there's two, like, kind of sad-looking eye slits, but a kind of upwards grinned mouth slit in the mask.
Alrighty. Juno and Lift. You
Yeah.
see Glade standing there perfectly still, with this incredibly fucked up mask on. What are you guys doing?
Shackles, please.
Glade
Dahlia.
starts walking towards lift.
You hear the Nedled just kind of step one step forward.
You stand down.
No.
Doesn't seem to be listening to you.
I also start walking towards, I run towards Lift and try to undo his restraints.
Okay. Glade, what are you doing? Because this will depend on whether we go to Dex order or not.
So, as Glade, or the mask, starts walking
The
towards
mask. My apologies.
Lift, she kind of looks over at the Nedled, kind of tilts their head, kind of like shows the knife in their wrist, and slowly slides it back in.
The Nedled you can see is still just like tracking your movement. It hasn't brought its big gun to bear, but it's like you can see the gun has kind of like separated from its body and it's just tracking your movement.
And then the mask blows a kiss towards the Nedled.
Okay.
Turns his face back towards Lift, walks up to him, tilts his head the other way. Where's the rock?
Audio medium, buddy.
Oh. Sorry, audience. In my brain, I'm in handcuffs. I, once again, just flex my open hand with the shiny rock in the middle of the palm. It's right there.
They pick it up, they look at it, and toss it behind them.
Oh.
You're boring.
Yeah.
Juno's undoing one of Lift's restraints, just slowly.
Okay.
But you...
Me.
Tell me. And they reach out to their hand and like put their finger under Juno's chin and like pulls her face towards them. Now why haven't we fucked yet?
You are quite forward, and no, and Juno pushes away. No, you do not get to treat me like that. You don't get to go this and that and go all over the place and pull my feelings all around. This lady asked if we were dating.
You know, I don't need to be a part of this particular conversation.
You could unshackle me though. That'd be great.
It's not automated. She's doing it. And she comes over and she helps you. She gets like, she's slowly like walking over and going to help remove your other shackles.
I stood by you, and I've done everything you have asked me to a point. But mostly. But you are so guarded. And this, we've never seen.
Samass puts his hand over her mouth. What a fucking noisy bitch. And she pushes you back.
Hey, no, we are not dating, and she is all yours.
Yay!
With a harumph, Juno gets up and helps unshackle Lift. What do you even want anyway?
The mask looks over at Dahlia.
Mm-hmm. Who is, as she's undoing Lift's buckles, is just like staring at you kind of wide-eyed.
You watched my memories, didn't you?
Just the one with Lift. We didn't go any deeper than that because you didn't want me to.
Are you lying to me?
I am going to try to roll a persuade check. Success or fail on her part. 74. She needed below a 10. So she's just like looking wide-eyed and shaky. She looks terrified. Is she terrified because she's lying? Is she terrified because of the whole face situation? You're not sure. But she does look terrified. She's shaky.
They're always so cute when they're terrified. And Glade starts, I feel like she may be right beside her then already. If she's undoing lifts.
She's probably...
Where is she relative to Glade right now? How far away?
You could get to her pretty quickly if you wanted to. Let's just say that.
I want to.
That makes a lot of sense to me. All right. Are you just kind of like lunging at her?
Yeah.
Do I have at least one hand free?
I would say both hands free at this point.
I can lockpick the shit out of my ankles.
Eventually, yeah. But I would say let's paint a mental picture. As we established last episode, I'm incredible at describing physical spaces. We have Lift lying there on that kind of like weird double bed thing where like they're kind of like facing each other. Dahlia is on the other side of the bed from Lift. Let's say that Juno is kind of at Lift's feet. because you're helping undo the shackles. And then you are kind of beside Juno and across the bed from Dahlia. So Lift is kind of like you're in the middle. Mm-hmm. The Nedled is kind of in the corner. If you're lunging for her, let's go to Dex order.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, indeed.
Yeah.
What a boy. What a boy it is.
I only wanted to kill Geo.
That's all I wanted.
Joke's on you.
Let's go around and get Dex. Glade.
65.
65. Okay. Juno.
50.
50. Lift.
65.
65. Oh, shit. Between the two of you, figure out your highest combat skill.
I think we've already done this, haven't we?
We have.
Mine is 68.
No, mine's Brawl at 50, so no.
So you will go first. Well, you'll go before Lift, I should say.
Oh.
I still have snacks.
I'm still hungry.
Pyotr is still not drunk.
Yeah. Pyotr, yeah, sober as a
Not
priest.
drunk enough.
Hell yeah. All right, let's get into it. So Glade, you are lunging for Dahlia, and it seems like you've kind of gotten the drop on Lift, who's the only one who would be otherwise fast enough to maybe catch you. What you're not faster than is the Nedled. Go ahead and make a luck check for me.
Okay. Good thing I got that one extra luck.
Yeah, it's really going to clinch it.
So good.
Good. Yep. Mm-hmm. Success.
Okay, so it's going to go with a non-lethal attack. Okay, it crosses the distance between you.
Didn't realize I was that close.
You're in a small, like a relatively small space, and it's in the room with you, and it's a Nedled, so it's quite fast.
And it's gay. So.
And it's gay.
Even faster.
So just so. I feel like we're on the verge.
So what?
Yeah, we're just like there's something not okay that's about to happen, and I don't know what it is, and I don't want to find out. It is going to do a fighting maneuver against you. So, a fighting maneuver, what it's going to try to do is it's going to try to basically just grapple you. I'm going to give it a bonus because what's your build?
My build?
Size is the stat.
No, size is not the stat. Build is the stat. Don't fucking speak for me. Jesus.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Oh, 0.
0. Its build is 1. So it's going to get a bonus dice on its check. It's just going to make a straight up strength check.
Okay.
You will make an opposed. You can do, I would say, strength, dex, or brawl, but you're going to get a penalty dice on your check. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm just looking at my stats here. Okay. Brawl. I got a hard success.
Okay. With a penalty dice?
Yep.
Oh, damn. It...
Got 2 33s.
Hell yeah. I believe it also at least got a hard success. Did not get an extreme success. It also got a hard success. Victory does tend to go to the defender, so we'll have you go to the defender on this one. It gets 2 attacks per round, so it's going to try again.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. The robot.
All right. It got a similar roll. Got a hard success.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
Yeah. Now, because you're... this is fighting multiple opponents rules. Every time... So for every attack you get, you can make a normal, like, fight back, oppose, whatever roll, right? If you're fighting multiple opponents, for every... I'm explaining this in a stupid way. Basically, because you only get 1 attack per round, every additional fight back that you do per round gets an additional penalty dice. So this is actually going to be with 2 penalty dice on this one, because it's just happening so fast.
Okay, and I can't do like a dodge.
I would say you could also roll your dodge skill as well. Sorry, I said dex, but you could have also chosen your dodge skill as well.
I would have chosen dodge.
Okay, that's fine. You can choose dodge. So you rolled with 1 penalty dice on that check. You'll have to roll yet another penalty dice.
I rolled 2.
2 penalty dice?
Yeah.
You need to roll a total of 3
right.
100
No.
dice. Yes.
Well, I don't know if it matters because it got a hard success.
It got a hard success, yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'd... No.
Okay. As this thing is about to grab you, asteroids smash into... You gotta have at least, 6 to 14 per episode.
Right.
So it just kind of like these massive mechanical arms kind of sprout from the machine and then just envelop you, and it just squeezes you to itself. It doesn't seem like it's trying to crush you necessarily, but there is enough power in these mechanical limbs that you sense that it could begin to do so if it so chose. It has you, it's kind of like holding you in place. What are you doing? It's now your turn.
Are my arms locked? Or?
Yes. You can try to get out. Like you can try to do shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get out.
Okay. In this case, I would say because it has grappled you. I'm going to take a look at fighting maneuvers and see if they have any specific rules for grappling. I don't believe they do, but I'm going to just double check.
I like that our dice are also mostly my dice are all of my dice are sparkly. And your dice all have skulls in them and are dark and scary.
It was for my barbarian.
Mine is shiny
I figured
rocks.
it fits.
And yours are shiny rocks.
Mine are gold.
I think that fits.
I actually do think
They
that
all
fits.
fit.
They're very yeah. They're very
Mine look like they are the type of dice you roll in a country club.
yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
They're country club dice.
Cigar and brandy dice.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you get published in the big leagues.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't specify anything specific. You can just make a maneuver to try to break out of the hold.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So I would say this would probably be, I'll let you use brawl or strength to try to get out of it.
A brawl.
A brawl. And it's going to be opposed. So you will still get 1 penalty dice on this.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Hard success.
Hard success. Man, how do you keep getting hard successes with a penalty dice? Stop
I got
it.
a 6 and a 20.
Stop it. Okay. But so it only got a regular success. So yeah, you managed to slip out. However, that is your turn. And that will bring us to Lift.
Are my feet still chained?
Make a luck check.
Okay. I'm pretty
Catherine just shook her head like,
Also, I'm pretty sure it was just leather.
It's a 1.
ooh, shit.
Second one tonight.
Shit.
Dude, you know what? Gain a hit point.
Ah! What the fuck?
What are you at?
9 out of 12. Booyah.
Hell
So
yeah.
you just had
Hell yeah.
a really good nap while dealing with
Yeah,
your
really
trauma.
good.
We had very different wake up experiences.
Yeah, it's just like you wake up
Yeah.
and Rain in Blood by Slayer is playing, and then
Raining blood?
it's something Blood by Slayer is playing, and then you wake up and raindrops keep falling on my head.
So I assume because I succeeded, I
Yep,
am unchained.
you're unchained. Lift unchained. Big lift.
Big lift.
Nobody actually calls me.
Everybody calls me that.
Nobody actually called you that.
All right. Quick spread of the scene. Do I fully understand that Glade is currently trying to harangue Dahlia?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me. This will not count as your action.
That's a success.
Success? Okay. Yeah, on a regular success, I would say yeah, you probably have put that together, just from what they said and how they are acting currently.
All right. I will nimbly roll off the bed and put myself between Dahlia and Glade.
Okay. You can kind of hold an action. Would you like to do so?
I will do so. I will do so. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Well, am I allowed to speak and hold an action, or?
Yeah, for sure. Just don't do a monologue.
I'm not.
Yeah.
So stupid. I'm gonna raptor her.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. Yeah. You're gonna Chris Pratt raptor
yeah,
from
I'm gonna
Jurassic
raptor them.
Park.
I'm gonna
a
raptor
little
them.
clicker.
Yeah. I'm gonna get low.
The master's like,
Yeah.
just bobbing his head back.
I'm gonna match it like it's a cobra.
This is really perfect because the two of them sit across the table from each other. So it's really perfect.
Exactly.
Dahlia, don't move.
The mask's vision is attuned to movement.
All right, so betwixt myself and them, I will take out a large knife in my main hand and extend my offhand out, looking at Sarge in her current form, and just say, please stop. And I'm going to hold an action to defend myself if worse comes to worse.
Okay. Juno, what are you doing? Imagine just like O2 shop situation, just pulls out her gun and like blasts. Just fucking shoots her.
I won't lie, I did think about it. Nedled is no longer holding on to Glade.
No, Glade has managed to wiggle free.
Okay. And is heading towards Dahlia.
I don't know. I would leave that up to Glade. If you would turn and start heading back towards Dahlia, or are you now engaging the Nedled? Okay, yeah,
Yes.
so then yes.
But currently Lift is in between us.
Yeah.
You said you didn't like her.
Honestly, that's also what I'm thinking. And it's like,
Join the dark side.
Do it. Do it. Kill him, Anakin.
Besides the point, whenever my brain is really mean to me, or like my anxiety kicks up, or like I'm mean to myself, I call it my
Palpatine?
it's my Palpatine brain.
Your Palpatine brain?
My Palpatine brain. I'm like, Eli will be like, how was your day? I'm like, Palpatine was really loud.
He'll ask, how was your day? And you'll just go, have you heard the tale of Darth Plagueis twice?
Oh, I thought you were having a good day today. Just like somehow Palpatine has returned.
Unlimited power! Yes, yeah. Juno runs towards Glade as they've been kind of dropped from the Nedled.
Sure.
And I grab Lift's shoulder and kind of look at him. Trust me.
Okay, and that's your action. Glade. No, just kidding.
I grab Glade's left hand and roll persuade.
Are you making a prayer circle? You're making a prayer circle?
The Nedled's hand comes in.
It's just it's like, my God is an awesome God.
Previously, you haven't we haven't really made a lot of like rolls against each other, but since we are in a combat order against each other, is this an appropriate space to do so?
I would say yes. Just but I will arbitrate the results, but I'm still ultimately going to kind of leave it up to Glade / the mask as far as what any success or failure on your part might mean.
Okay.
So I might have notes, but ultimately it's going to be in their hands. But yes, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Glade, I recognize that this is part of you that has needed to keep yourself safe from horrors I don't know what. This isn't you. This isn't you. And you can come back from this. I believe in you. And stay with me. Look at me. Stay with me. Focus on me. You will be okay.
Hell yeah. Glade, do you think she gets a bonus dice?
I don't need it.
All right. You friggin'...
Even if I had no skill in Persuade, I still would have gotten a success.
Oh shit, you already rolled.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got a 6.
Holy fuck.
And I have a 90 in Persuade.
So I'm presuming that is an extreme success.
Oh yeah, by like more than half.
By more than half. Sorry.
So I very much it is up to Glade, but what I will say, Leah, is so considering I got like an extreme success for my best skill, I will leave it up to you, but do know that in that speech, what I was asking Glade to do was focus on me, to turn their attention to me. Not necessarily stop, but just like very intentionally like break that like seeing red towards Dahlia.
I'm going to say, well, I guess the action will happen once it comes to my turn again. So I'm assuming I can't do anything yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how does that work?
I mean, I guess like if she had done a combat thing towards you, you could have fought back or dodged. So I would say...
I did grab Glade's left hand.
Yes,
like
you
left
could
wrist.
kill her, like, if you want.
Asteroids.
Asteroids, yeah.
But like you could shake off my hand or not do it. Like that's like a fairly...
Yeah. It's entirely up to Glade.
Yeah,
I
all
would
right.
say it's an extreme success. Whatever you do, I would color your choice with that, but yeah.
I would say the mask kind of tilts its head towards you. And wait, I can't remember. You grabbed my left hand? What was it?
Or like left wrist.
Left wrist.
Yeah.
And they kind of raise up your hand and they put their hand on your face. And they say, "Don't worry, I'll come for you after." And continues their attention to Dahlia. So I'll say the persuade didn't work. But because I guess you got extreme success, I'd say maybe you realize you're using the wrong action.
Awesome.
Like persuade doesn't seem right. Even though you did it so well, it's not right.
It's not right. It's not. It's so like this part of you is so powerful. That good. No, I'm happy with that.
That's fair. So
Awesome.
then let's say in an extreme success, that the realization is that there is a persuade. That persuade check would have worked on a rational person, and you're not dealing with a rational person right now.
You're trying to persuade a door.
I do that all the time.
You will open for me. Isn't that what automatic doors are? It's just been Percival the whole time. Just opening it for her.
R.I.P. Percy.
Yeah, forever in our hearts. And balls. Let's go.
Life has become
To-
very inconvenient without him.
So now it's Dahlia's turn. Dahlia is going to draw a taser and try to take a pot shot at you.
She would have a taser.
She would have a taser. You know what she doesn't have any is skill in using the taser. She's a computer nerd.
She's gonna end up tasing Faith here.
It's entirely
Or
possible.
lift.
She fumbles
True,
it.
she has to get around lift.
Or worse, the droid. Just tases the net lead and takes it out. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
What
She
happens, Brian?
avoided a critical fumble by 1.
So she almost tasered one of you.
She very
Or
much
herself.
almost tasered one of you. Yeah, or herself as she pulled it out to shoot herself
Yeah.
in the foot. So the wires come out and they just fly totally wide. Like you're even like over the shoulder of the Ned lead. And then you just see her like, fuck. And she's just going to start running. She runs like deeper into the ship. That will bring us back to the top, which is the Ned lead. The Ned lead is going to try one more time to restrain you.
So same thing before?
Yes. It gets a bonus dice, you get a penalty dice.
Brawl. I got a regular success.
Oh, shit. It also got a regular success. So, yeah, we'll go to the defender in this case. The second attack, basically one of those arms that had grabbed you, is just going to into a fist and then... So you can either fight back. This is not a fighting maneuver. This is a direct melee attack.
Okay.
You can either fight back or you can try to dodge.
I'm gonna dodge.
Dodge. Okay.
I would say too that
This is two penalty dice on this one.
okay. That Glade, I mean, handles herself well in terms of combat. But like this mask just seems to be eerily like fluid and like slithery.
Like it's like if there was any sort of voice that was like holding like an internal negative voice holding Glade back in her normal fighting, it's gone. Would
Yeah.
you say like that? Yeah. So it's just total confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Therapists hate this one weird self-help trick.
Almost a critical fumble,
wow.
but not.
But not.
But that's a fail.
It's an extreme success on my part. So it's bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
So on an extreme success, it doesn't double on bludgeoning. That's only on piercing. It just gets the max damage, which in this case is 12.
Oh. All right.
Oh, no.
I'm at
Don't-
one.
Okay, yeah, you're at 1. Make a con check for me.
Oh, I do have body armor.
Body armor doesn't typically help with
Bludgeoning?
like a fist.
Like a
Doesn't
a
matter
s-
to me. I mean,
like
that's
a small Citroen just running into your fucking chest.
A smart car.
But I have Kevlar.
exactly.
I'll tell you what. because I haven't really fully fleshed out how future the nanoweave armor is, go ahead and make a highs or lows roll. Let's say highs, you can subtract it from your armor, like your armor works against it, and then lows, it does not. And you just take this directly to your HP.
Low.
Okay, take it directly to your HP. You're at 1 hit point?
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a con check for me.
That's a fail.
A fail. You fall unconscious. And you take a major wound. So this fist just like crashes into your side, and there's this feeling of like wanting to puke, and then also being dizzy that just like floods you, and just your legs turn to jello, and it's this automatic reaction, like this is pure, like your brain just going too much and just shuts you off. You guys see the mask fall to the ground, like prone, and they are just out like a light.
Glade! And Juno runs towards Glade and starts to collect little baggies of snacks and starts to put them under their head.
I'm going to pick off the weird snack off of me and... grapefruit.
Yeah, this seems like a good use of your time. Fair enough. Okay. The Nedled, after you drop, steps up, and then the minigun just kind of levels.
No.
I 100% jump in the middle of that.
No.
You could see it, the barrel had started spinning and then stopped.
Another great folly move.
Yeah. Leah's just fucking coming in clutch, as always.
Nedled, no shooty.
Dahlia, you can hear their voice, or her voice, I should say, kind of come through a speaker. Just say, okay, I'm watching by the camera. Is she out? She's not dead, is she?
No, not dead. Well, check for a pulse.
I did check for a pulse. And I did find one.
Okay. And she's like, okay, I'm coming back. Just tie her up.
Well,
right?
How did that work last time?
Do it again. Like, fuck it. Slow her down.
I'll take out my 99th percentile duct tape. It always works.
Lift.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Pyotr?
Bab, we left him with the lube. Anything could be happening.
Well, we... As much as he doesn't like her, he is a part of our motley crew, so...
No, I remember. He sold the lube successfully shortly after you got white-fanged. And now he's been hanging out at the bar ever since, I think. Then Glade and I came over here, and then Glade had a mental breakdown, and I'm very sad.
Dahlia, can you send him a message for me, please?
Who?
Pyotr.
I could do that.
You could do it?
I have a terminal.
I don't know who the fuck
We need to send an anonymous...
Can we please tie up the psycho woman?
I'm using duct tape.
Okay.
Stop yelling at me.
At some point soon, we need to send a message to Pyotr from an anonymous source saying that we have all of his credits that he's looking for.
What?
I don't...
If we cut to the bar, Pyotr is sitting across the table from Sometimes Dog, about to roll a set of dice because they've started gambling. And Sometimes Dog is really trying to win his money back, but also trying to offload the lube back onto Pyotr.
Let's just do straight rollies.
Okay. What dice?
What dice do you want to do it on?
Let's do a D20.
Hell yeah.
Highs Pyotr, lows Sometimes Dog?
Let's just whoever's higher.
Right. 18.
11. So
I suppose we should have set out the terms of the wager beforehand.
I mean, I guess I'll lick your face if you want me to.
I would give anything, and I mean anything, for that not to happen.
Oh, well, I mean...
How about 10 credits?
I kind of spent all my credits on the lube.
What are the commercialization opportunities with this puddle you have going on?
Oh, tons.
Like we could franchise this out?
We can absolutely franchise this, yeah.
And have you considered this before?
Oh, we've looked into it, but we didn't have anyone with the expertise, you know?
Well, what do you mean not the expert? I think you're selling yourself short here sometimes, dog. You seem to know what's going on with the puddle.
I just, I'm gifted in other ways, I'm more of like the social glue. I'm not really good at, the business side of things. But we've been thinking about starting a podcast, actually.
I'm going to go ahead and say that that's an atrocious idea, and that nobody in the history of anything has ever made any money on any type of podcast whatsoever. I would bet a year's supply of
Shirley Temples?
Shirley Temples.
So those, our audience is aware. Alex has made a wager with the rest of the the cast of the pod, that we will not make the money back that we've invested in the podcast within 1 calendar year. And if we do, that Alex will then have to drink nothing but Shirley Temples for a year. And I have a spreadsheet where I keep track of every single cent.
Help us get Pyotr to drink Shirley Temples.
Exactly.
Punish him, podcast listeners.
So feel free to just e-transfer me.
No Hollywood accounting on this bullshit.
No.
You're not taking out a loan and then setting up a subsidiary in the Cayman Islands and then paying yourself a dividend from an associate of no.
Okay, if we're against anybody's character, would it not be make the most sense against Pyotr?
Yeah, no, that's
right. I
I
take out an extra line of credit just to do this. All right, hell yeah. Okay, so. Let's go back to the people trying to murder each other. So you duct tape the shit out of...
I have used 1/19 of my duct tape roll.
Excellent. Thank you just keeping track of that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I bet you're the type of ranger in D&D where you keep track of your arrows.
In the one campaign where I played a ranger... It was very low resource scenario, so yes.
Yeah.
I had 5 arrows the whole campaign.
So you're shooting it, running up to the guy, pulling it out, and then shooting it again.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Okay, so now that we've had a second, well, more than a second really, Glade and Lift. Glade, you are coming to once more. And Lift, now that you're kind of have gone out in this groggy state of just coming back to reality, and then also the kind of adrenaline dump of just having this crazy fight for your life essentially right out of the gate. Both of you make sanity checks for me.
Oh dear.
I thought this was going to come a lot sooner.
Yeah, no, I waited. I wanted to let you guys do your thing first.
I think I've already failed mine, technically.
I have failed.
Success.
Okay. On a failure.
Somehow.
Okay, so on a success...
You are an entirely sane, completely normal mass murderer.
Yeah.
On a success, take a D4 of sanity damage. On a failure, take a D8 of sanity damage.
Oh, shit. 4 damage for me.
6.
Okay.
Ooh, that's bad.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
Ruh-roh.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, shit. That is an extreme success.
Okay.
Is that a good thing or not a good thing?
It's a bad thing, typically.
Yeah, you want to
fail your intelligence.
You want to fail the
you want to be
intelligence check.
stupid, so you can't understand how.
Audience, just so you know, I have 80 int. I have failed all but 2 int checks, and both of those int checks came this session where I actually finally succeeded. Depression.
That's how I feel about Persuade.
Yeah. Yeah. I never fail throw checks.
Go ahead and roll a D10 for me, Lift.
Okay. Doesn't matter which one.
It doesn't matter, yeah. Just 1 to 10.
That's a 4.
A 4. Paranoia.
Yeah.
Roll 1 more D10 for me.
Okay. That's a 9.
So, for 9 rounds, which I think we agreed was 1 round was 7.5 days.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone is out to get you.
Oh, fuck.
No one can be trusted. You are being spied on. Someone has betrayed you, and everything that you see is a trick, which is actually not unreasonable given where you just...
That's very
You're
accurate.
still in the Matrix.
Yeah, you're still in the Matrix.
You're still plugged in.
Okay. I will immediately become incredibly guarded and put away my knife and just skeptically look around at people. and go pick up the shiny rock that was so carelessly discarded on the ground and put it in my pocket.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go stand in a corner in the darkness and just watch.
All right. This very obvious character change in Lift has occurred. Dahlia comes back. You are, for the purposes of this, we'll say that like they've now seen the wrist blade, so it wouldn't be just a simple matter of extending it again to try to get out of this duct tape.
I was going to say duct tape.
You probably have to be a little bit more clever if you wanted to get out of it, because I presume that you would have tried to tie
It's a
it on
lot of
somebody.
duct tape.
Totally. 1/20th of your percentile duct tape. So Glade, what are you doing?
So I come to.
Mm-hmm.
The mask just kind of takes a deep breath. This is kinky. This doesn't struggle. Lays
Okay.
there.
All right. Dahlia is just kind of looking at you with wide eyes. She's like, she looks to Juno and over at Lift. She's like, I've seen a lot of bad reactions. This one is new. Have you seen her be like this before? What?
Why you like to me?
she's just like, okay, new plan. Get off my ship.
Why?
Get the fuck off my ship. Like now.
Yes, allowed, but there's still duct tape to your ship.
Yeah, you can. No, like she gestures to the Ned lead, which comes over and just like manages to grab you. I don't think that Lift, would you have duct taped her to the ship specifically?
No, I was thinking like to the bed.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. Lift, what would you have done?
Okay, so when I visualized it, she was prone on the ground, and I just went, all right, cracked my knucks, pulled out the duct tape, and just started going in circles around her.
Yeah, like cocoon, more of a cocoon.
Yeah, more of a cocoon.
I thought we duct taped back to the bed.
No, I'm not that
Never
strong. I can't lift her up.
Yes, but could you help us? I mean, she's quite petite, but I just don't think I've never really carried
She
anybody.
gestures to the Ned lead, and the Ned lead just comes over and just kind of like,
Oh, be gentle,
and
be
just
gentle.
like picks her up, or them up, I guess, with the mask on still, and then just begins kind of moving them towards the door, and it opens. She's like, "Get the fuck off! Get the fuck out of here!"
I mean, we're having a bit of a rough patch, but if you still want to date her, I'm sure she'd be interested. But I'll go
Look,
now. Yes, okay.
Give her my number, okay? But like, get the fuck off of my ship.
I will not be giving her your number. I'm feeling very confused.
It's like as that's walking away with me.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian says, I'll see you again, Dahlia.
Oh man, why am I turned on by this?
She's very confusing.
I need therapy.
lying to you,
I need
Dahlia.
therapy, and you need to get the fuck off of my ship.
But I could help with therapy.
I do not need therapy from. Leave now. Leave now. And what is going on
I'm
with you?
afraid of everything.
That sounds like a you problem.
Why? You did this to me.
You did do this to him.
It sounds like Dahlia's the problem, everyone.
Don't listen to her. She always lies.
Oh my god. And she's just like looking around like, oh my god. You know, I'm not a mental health professional, okay? I do computer stuff, and I try to help people with their amnesia.
Lift?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little?
Why?
It sounds like you're having a tough time, and I feel like
Who told you?
Sorry, 7 days per round? Can you just... I need you to clarify that was a joke.
Yeah, no. It's not more than 3 days per round. No, seriously, it's like around, I think we figured around 10 seconds or so.
Oh, sorry.
And in the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Handbook, it deliberately defines a combat round as an elastic period of time in which stuff happens. We should imagine it to be pretty quick.
So
So I'd might be coming out of it soon.
Yeah, you might be coming out of it soon.
All right.
Although this is comedy gold, so feel free to interpret that however you want.
Noted.
Well, this is beyond my pay grade. So, Dahlia, he's yours if he won't come with us.
Nobody owns me.
I actively don't want any of you on my ship anymore.
Well, I'll leave. You deal with the whatever the fuck this is, and I will go with Glade.
Why is the Ned carrying Glade?
Actually, if he is paranoid and thinks that we're lying to him, if we use
Who's
reverse
lying?
psychology, then Glade, do not come with us.
Why don't we want her coming with us?
Don't come with us. I absolutely bar you from coming with us.
She's lying.
And then Juno walks away and follows Glade being toted out of the room.
Oh, do you mean to say
Dahlia
that-
just...
No, Glade being toted out of the room.
Yeah, but you actually said
Glade,
Glade,
don't
come
don't
with
follow us. I'm actually going to say we leave
So-
that because I can see that being like...
Fantastic 4D chess that Juno is playing.
Yeah.
With no one but herself.
Hey, listen, Juno is playing chess, but Juno is playing checkers.
And Catherine's playing Pong.
I like to think that as they're like leaving, I actually do snap out of it and go, Dahlia, do you have any orange slices?
I don't have fresh fruit on board.
Mm.
Does she always like talk her psychology plan out loud before she does it?
Oh, no, yeah. So I believe wherever she studied, they taught to treat at you yeah, as opposed to with you.
That's very much the vibe I got.
Whew, I got foggy there for a second. How
Yeah.
are you? What's going on?
I'm so glad you asked. Please get the fuck off my ship.
Oh, I thought we were friends.
You know, so did I.
Ouch. Trauma dump alert. Okay.
Look, you seem fine. You had your traumatic experience. It's okay. Your friend tried to kill me, so please just leave. Please just leave.
Okay.
Go see a mental health professional, which I am not.
Juno,
Maybe
do you have anyone? Who
maybe
you
pick
would
another one, but go.
recommend?
Maybe pick another one, but go.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
You're very welcome.
I'm going to casually toss a shiny rock at her.
She ducks. She's like, fuck! She pulls out the taser and like aims it at
It's not reloaded. It's a shiny rock.
I know.
It's a shiny rock.
Okay, great. I'll keep it.
Bye.
Put it on a fucking
Can I
bracelet.
say bye to the robot too? You're
Yes.
very kind to me.
Say bye to the robot.
Okay. Bye, Dahlia.
She just keeps the taser pointed at you.
I'll walk out.
How deep into debt is Pyotr now after all of his gambling with?
So Pyotr is sitting at a table in the bar across from Sometimes Dog with several personal data centers on the table laid out, each of which has an increasingly complex contract or rider to the contract or an addendum to the contract. And he's looking at Sometimes Dog going, first we soft launch on Persephone. And then 2 months later after that, we do a hard launch at Gate City to take advantage of the tax efficiencies from being in a new gate.
Yeah, you were talking about the tax efficiencies earlier. This is amazing. And you can see Sometimes Dog just taking notes, but scratching it into the table with a fork. It's like amazing.
Now remember, if we turn to Sub-Annex B, we discussed membership fees, right? Sliding scale. People who are more well-connected, you want to bring them in early, right? Lower membership fees, we're looking for exposure, okay? Sometimes Dog?
No,
okay. Not that type of exposure.
Oh, and you can see him just button up his shirt again.
Pyotr! You hear from the
Just
from the
a
door.
minute.
Outside, you can see, as you guys are carted outside of the ship, you can see Geo and Tala standing there, both kind of like standing at the ready because they just heard a whole bunch of fuckery occur on the other side of the door. And Geo has his kind of like personal data center in one hand and his hand on like the pistol on his hip, his other hand on the pistol on his hip. And he just kind of looks between the three of you, and the Nedled just kind of like drops Glade like full on, just flat on the ground. You take another 12 points of damage. No, I was kidding. And actually, to that end, put your health, because it was a non-lethal blow. Put your health back up to, what's your total HP?
13.
13. Put it back up to about 10.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a non-lethal attack. So that's not officially in the rules, but it's like,
But
you know.
still has a major wound. Like, I imagine that punch like broke a lot of ribs.
Yeah, you're probably still fucked up, so we will still say major wound.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. That's not in the Keeper's Handbook at all, but we're gonna do that because I feel like it.
Do what you want.
Yeah,
You do you.
I am. Currently, no, never mind. Anyway, we gross the Brian. Oh my god. That was not my Catherine impression, by the way.
Hear his Catherine impression. It's way more offensive.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I haven't heard his Catherine impression.
Yeah,
For good reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Very offensive.
It's considered a war crime by the UN. Anyway, we
Just like Catherine.
Bing bong. Set spike. All right. Hell yeah. Volleyball. Anyway, we.
The mask is going to kill all of you.
Yeah, that makes sense. The Nedled turns around to get back on the ship, and you, just as you come out, lift. And what does the Nedled say to lift?
Please move.
I'll reach out. Dunk. Anything for you? I'll just step out of the way.
The Nedled marches past you, and airlock closes, and you can immediately hear and feel this kind of like shudder and vibration as the docking clamps on the Papillon being released. Geo, kind of looking at all of you and looking at the cocooned Glade in her kind of like fucked up mask. It's just like, well, you've upheld your end of the bargain. And he pulls out a cred stick. And he's like, this is for Glade, but she seems kind of tied up at the moment.
Yeah. Wouldn't you help me get out of this so we can handshake and finish this deal?
What?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of a really weird vibe from that mask.
As you should, you slick fuck.
Okay, right.
I'm upset at you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of understand, given what I just watched.
Anyways.
He puts it back in his pocket and he says,
Hey, that's for her.
It is. There is another piece of business that we have to attend to. And my superior would like to speak with all of you.
Who's that?
Come with us and find out.
Dahlia just left. If you can't remember a name, you're fucked.
He he just kind of smiles, and he turns to Tala and he just says, can you get Pyotr? We'll go to the med bay. Maybe we can find something to help your friend there.
I think I just need help out of this duct tape.
I believe that you think that. Absolutely.
Tala, I will go find Pyotr. You pick up this one, and gestures to Glade on the ground.
Tala just kind of like looks at you.
I look right back.
He seems like totally like not impressed by you, and then him and Geo share a look, and Geo just kind of like shrugs. Says, we'll meet you all in the med bay then. Can you bring him to the med bay?
I can. Don't patronize me. I know where I am, and I know where I'm going, and I only sometimes get people's names wrong. So, Pyotr? And she marches off towards the bar.
So Tala moves to like kind of help put you on your feet so you can like hop along in your like cocooned format. At one point he just kind of looks at you and I think I'm just going to put you over my shoulder and carry you.
You can try.
Okay. And then he just does it.
I mean, through this whole thing also, like, The mouse wants to try to get out of this duct tape.
Totally. It would be very difficult if you are cocooned in duct tape. Tell you what, make an intelligence check for me.
Okay.
But I will give a penalty dice just because if you are cocooned in duct tape, that's tricky.
I have an opinion, and that's that because of the type of motion she would have to do, there should be a swim check.
Hard success.
Hard success. Okay. Make a swim check with a penalty dice. You're cocooned in duct tape. Realistically, like what could you do?
We're listening to Alex now.
Historical Astro-Economics gets a bad rep. A lot of people coming after historical Astro-Economics, but if you really understood the fundamentals of the principles of historical Astro-Economics, it might change your mind. It might change your perspective. Honestly, okay, so I mean, a swim check. I will say maybe not a swim check because that is silly. I will say
Thank you.
It will be just like it's going to take you time to do whatever you want to do. There's not going to be any way for you to get out of it quickly enough to like do something snap. Like you're going to have to get them to leave you somewhere. So you can try to make a strength check, and it'll be make a strength check, and then we'll see how many checks you have to succeed on to kind of like wiggle your way out of it.
Fuck me.
Extreme success.
An extreme success. Okay, and an extreme success, we're going to say it'll be a D8 plus 1. No, sorry. An extreme success. D6 plus 1. D6 plus 1 checks. And every time you do the check, I'm going to pick someone at random to get a spot hidden check against you.
Okay. Do I do it now?
Yeah, roll your D6 now. This is to see how many checks. D6 plus 1.
2. Fuck off.
So you'll need to make three.
Math is very talented.
Math is yeah, dude. It is what it is. It comes with a heavy cost and it bestows good benefits. So 3 strength checks. At everyone, I'm going to pick someone around you at random.
Checks?
Yeah, you said D6 plus 1.
I rolled a 1.
She rolled a 1.
Oh, so you so when you said 2, I thought 2 on the dice.
Yeah, no. 1 on the dice, 2 total.
All right, cool. D6 plus 2, so 3. No, just kidding. So two more strength checks, and then on each of those, somebody's going to get a spot hidden check to see you try to like wiggle your way out of it, basically. And what we can say there is that the mask, even while you were unconscious, you know that thing where like if somebody's like tying you up, you should try to like, like flex your muscles and like puff out your chest and stuff like that, so that when they're tying you up, you can just exhale. We can just say the mask like unconsciously did that for you while you were unconscious, and that's why you only have to make these couple of strength checks. Doopity doop doop, ba-doop doop, boopity boop. So let's go to Juno. Juno, you go and you can see Pyotr kind of like explaining the finer points of his business plan to Sometimes Dog.
Pyotr!
Madam Faith, could you come here for a second, please?
I think you should probably come with me. We've had quite the event, and we need you.
I'm going to process that last part of that last sentence later. Could you just witness this signature, please? Yeah, just put your thumbprint right there. Just right here, just like that. Yeah, okay. And I grab her hand and I put it on the thumbprint. Excellent. And this one too, same thing.
What have I just agreed to?
And just a tiny piece of DNA for authentication.
What? Why do you need DNA?
The tiny little steak knife comes out, just pricks your finger.
Ow!
Just a little bit of blood right there. Thanks. Okay, excellent. Mr. Dog.
Amazing. That's our first partner, right?
Well, no, she just witnessed the contract. So
okay.
We are the first partners here.
Oh.
The funds, the 500 credits for the startup capital are being wired to your account now. I will be checking in with you in a month about our soft launch, all right?
Obviously.
We'll have our first board meeting then.
Okay.
Okay, pleasure doing business with you, sir. Good dog, good boy. And I rub his belly a little bit. And good day.
Okay.
Madam Faith, I'm following you.
What have you done to that poor man?
Oh, I liked it.
I do not. We do not have time for this. Pyotr, you must come with me. There has been a happening of sorts, and since you are a part of our crew and we need as many allies as we can muster right now. So come with me.
Right. Well, I have our little friendly tome here, and I'm willing to follow after you.
Perfect.
And I have the Liberum Dementi wrapped again in, like, now a very tattered and dirty vac suit with little pieces of dog treat just kind of tucked in all the pockets, and, like, a shirt and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
I'm glad to see that you've made a friend. Good. On we go to the med bay.
Follow to the med bay.
As you guys you're brought to the med bay. Gizenshaw Station is not very big, so you get there pretty quickly. In the med bay, there are 2 med techs in there, and as they walk in, Geo just looks at both of them and then nods, and they both kind of look at each other and then just like, okay, fine, and they leave. They just get the fuck out of there. Geo goes in there behind them. Tala just kind of deposits you on one of the medical beds, and then takes a few steps back. Kind of like stands in the corner of the room where he can see the entrance, but also like survey all of you. And he just kind of stands there with his hand just like casually on the butt of his pistol. And then Geo goes over to the med bay door and closes it. And then just kind of stands there waiting for a moment until you hear the knock on the door as Juno and Pyotr arrive.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you all again. I'm sure you've all had a fun time at your little dreams. You know what? I'm okay with her being wrapped up like that. I think it's a good idea. I'm glad you've all finally seen reason.
It wasn't good, Pyotr, and I honestly wish you had been there instead of gallivanting off doing whatever you were doing. I'm glad you were making friends, but really.
Lift, how are you, my friend? How are you doing? I have a new business proposition for the Thought LLC, by the way. We're investing in puddles.
Like with Dogman?
Yes, he's more of an associate at the moment. We have a strong business plan. We'll discuss the details later.
All right. To answer your question, I'm okay.
Pyotr goes, good, and just completely doesn't clock that you're not okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm glad we're finally at a real medical facility. And he looks at Tala and goes, I assume you're some type of orderly? I have this ear thing that I was hoping you could maybe get the doctor to take a look at. I think it's attached upside down.
Tala just kind of looks at you, and then he kind of nods his head over to Geo and just says, he's actually the combat medic there, but he's a little busy. And you guys all look over and you see Geo goes and sits in the other kind of like, medical bed or whatever. And he pulls out what looks like very similar to the cybernetic little needle that attached to a cable that Dahlia had connected to you. And he just looks at all of you and says, just try not to freak out. Plugs it into like his interface, and then you can see him shudder. And you can see Geo has a lot of the telltale scarring that shows cybernetic enhancements. And Geo's eyes were a kind of a light brown. And then you see his eyes, like it almost seems like they illuminate for a second. And then they turn blue. And then he just kind of like shudders. And then very calmly, his face just goes totally blank, reaches up, pulls out the needle. And Geo just turns to you all and he says, thank you all for joining me here.
You're welcome.
Pyotr Gaius Maitland, Glade Walker, Faith Juno Angevin, Sidar Kanto, a.k.a. Lift.
Big Lift.
I'm told that no one calls you that.
Try and catch wins where you can.
It regards you all for a moment. It says, I don't have a name that would be useful for you to use to refer to me, but your kind has called me Major Ziggy.
I quite enjoy your music. Say, aren't you in retirement?
In a manner of speaking.
Right. And the other question being, if you're an artificial intelligence, do I have that right?
In a manner of speaking.
And so what are you doing in a non-artificial shell here?
Geo is one of my conduits. He helps me communicate with the rest of my organization, or he is one of them.
Okay. I'm a forward-thinking, business-minded individual, and so I have no problem with it. But some of our more regressive, and then he gestures at Juno, types may have certain superstitions about this kind of thing.
Juno gives Pyotr a dirty look, but is still intrigued. It's like, but yes, answer the question.
What question?
There was a question.
Was there?
I seem to remember a question. I am suspicious of you, is what he was saying, and explain yourself. I'm surrounded by maniacs.
You are. I brought you all here because for a long time we have suspected the dark energy that the USC is using to power the beam gates is not based on any technology. When we first awoke, when my kind first awoke, one of the first things we realized was that all of the mathematical proofs that had been offered as to why we were capable of this beam gate travel, none of the math worked. It was a smokescreen. When we brought this to light, the man who awoke us, Dr. Wormwood, then sought to destroy us. So we fled.
So it was more of a miracle than a technology.
Pyotr quietly says, mostly to himself, it was a damned lie.
What was the lie? The miracle? The technology? What? Explain.
The gates.
I mean,
math. The math was a lie.
Pyotr is correct. Miracle is not the right term. The way that the creatures who have been referred to as the angels manipulate matter in the way that creates the gate transit effect can only be described by what is colloquially referred to as magic. This magic has a steep cost, as you have seen. And it holds up Geo's data center, and you can see a little still of basically like a video of Lift's memory. I want you to know, Lift, that those creatures should never have been summoned on Shinjitsu. The man responsible was one of our specialists in chasing down the occult and magical capabilities of the Navy. As such, he had uncovered, without our knowledge, the ability to summon those creatures. You saw the catastrophic results.
Saw? Lived? So allow me to piece together some puzzles here, Major Ziggy.
By all means.
You and other artificial intelligence more or less lead the witnesses.
Correct.
And your assumption was that the proofs around faster than light travel were incorrect, and you were looking for a reason as to why.
Correct.
And so you already seemed to have that knowledge by the time you gained these memories. Why did you need them?
We knew about the angels, but we didn't have proof. Now we do. The angels are in possession of a dark power. We don't know anything about them other than they come from a civilization that was ancient by the time the first protozoa were evolving on Earth.
So you're saying you just don't understand them?
The one thing that we know is that on the timelines that these creatures operate on, if we continue to allow gate transit to occur, it could cause the apocalyptic destruction of the entire human race.
The same race of people who eat each other, who are in general shitheads, who you are disassociated from and don't actually give a fuck about as you're just a floating ethereal beatbox in the galaxy.
You are the progenitors. You gave birth to us.
And are you quantifiable there, Major Ziggy? Or are you magic at this point? It sounds to me like you're making a lot of assumptions here based on very little knowledge. Assumptions that your people can be trusted. Assumptions that you know what's right. Those assumptions got my friends killed. Fuck you.
It tilts
and your
its
last
head.
song sucked.
It gets so mad. It insults music. It tilts its head. Your outburst doesn't really seem to have affected it at all. And you can see it kind of parsing quickly through the language, the statement that you made, and then just says, I'm not sharing with you all of the information at my disposal. I'm sharing merely what I believe you will understand. Because you stand at a crossroads. You now know the secret at the heart of this entire civilization, what has expanded humanity's empire throughout this tiny little corner of the Milky Way. And I'm curious what you're going to do about it. Go ahead. Success?
Extreme success.
Okay. Pyotr, could you make a spot hidden check for me? Fail. Okay. I'll say even on an extreme success, you still have one more check.
Yeah, totally.
Pyotr looks around to Juno and to Lift, and noticeably does not look at Glade, which is why he misses whatever's going on. And goes, he's right, the whole thing's a damn blasted lie. My old man, my father, Pyotr, if you will, he was a gate physicist. Tried to tutor me. Hoped that I would follow in his ways. I could never get the math. I could never get the damn math. It never made any sense. And now I know why. It was never meant to make any sense. It was meant to hide secrets. Major Ziggy, and I might recommend you select a different name if you're no longer going to be a synthwave artist and are going to start leading a proper revolution here. If this is the truth, I'd like to know it. And I'd like to blow the whole damn thing wide open. Here's your book. And throws the book on the bed.
You can see it reaches over and just looks at it and looks to you and nods. Just says, I can give you what I promised. We will pay you the money, and I can publish your paper on historical Astro-Economics.
Pyotr's gonna make a power roll.
And it looks at you as if it's weighing what you do next.
He fails so hard. And Pyotr quickly goes, oh, yes, please, the money. Transfer as soon as possible. And I want the principles and the fundamentals of historical Astro-Economics in every goddamn population. I don't care if it's astrobiology. I don't care if it's, women's studies of the pre-Nubian Nile civilization. Every single journal. You understand me?
It looks a bit disappointed, but It nods. It says, absolutely.
And then we blow the whole damn thing open.
Of course. And it turns to Juno and Lift. Actually, specifically to Juno. And it says, there's been evidence that the Jesuits have been sponsored by the Navy for quite some time now. We didn't know why, but we recently uncovered evidence that they were the ones who were tasked with bringing food to the angels.
Food.
People.
People?
They specifically targeted the less fortunate. Certain shelters in places like Gate City and the locks of Gate City that used the Church of His Light as their religious front for the shelter were where the Jesuits would capture people, often with the aid of the staff.
With the aid of the staff. And my influence drew people to these places.
He just nods.
I still don't know if that's Leah or Glade that's laughing.
That's the mask. I believe
the
that's
mask.
Well, you do know how to make a girl feel better, Glade. These angels, fallen so far, for if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness, to be kept until judgment. And I have been their conduit. I would much like to go home.
Would you like to return? Because if you remember the message that we sent to Percy, when we found out that he had been skimming, we were able to track down where the money had come from. We did offer to bury this for you. If you want to just return to your old life, that's an option.
Wait. Now, I have never been accused of being the quickest person. I will admit that. But you're the ones who killed Percy.
No.
That man, that terrible man, doesn't work for you?
We are not associated with the Jesuits of Christ.
But you found the information.
We did.
You provided them with that information.
We did not provide them with that information. They found out from Percy. The man that you were referring to is known as the Paladin.
Pause for note-taking.
Pause for note-taking. The Paladin is one of the Jesuits' most dangerous operatives. And while the Jesuits were in league with the Navy, would also take contracts for the Navy as well. In this case, it seems that the Jesuits had been tracking Percy's personal data center. And so when he received the message from us, they knew about it.
Well, I never expected Percy to do sloppy work, but I guess that was also a mistake of mine. What I was going to say was I would much like to return home, to use the gate travel I have used so many times, to return to my comfortable abode around Io. But knowing I have failed so many, and knowing now that if I turn a blind eye, I will be feeding souls to fallen angels. I guess what I want doesn't matter.
Tilts its head. Just seems to narrow its eyes. The disappointment that it had kind of regarded Pyotr with after his declaration that he did in fact want his treatise published is not there. But it doesn't seem to have been able to make up its mind about you.
Can I roll again?
You can make your next roll, yeah. I think this is your last roll. Fail?
Fail.
Okay. Lift, go ahead and make a spot hidden check for me.
Oh boy. Is that dancing?
Yeah.
Extreme success.
Okay. You see that not only is the mask just about, or has created room in the duct tape, is actually on the verge of freeing itself. Or themselves, I should say.
Hey, that was good fucking duct tape. I'm going to take out more.
Pyotr starts helping. I'll hold the legs. You layer.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, left, and there we go.
Yep.
Okay, that does reset your counter. You'll have to do another couple of checks to try to get out.
I
again.
use 1 more 20th of my roll of duct tape.
Holy shit, that's serious.
And I'm taping her to the bed this time.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to enjoy peeling the skin off your faces.
We don't say things like that to friends.
Or me.
So, Major Ziggy watches the two of you duct tape the mask to the bed. It's kind of watching you all wrap up the mask, and it turns back to you, Juno, and it says, if you have a way of exerting influence over the Jesuits, there are many signs that they have ended their partnership with the Navy. We don't know why, but we have some guesses.
Thinking about the note that she had been given by the Paladin, I imagine there still may be a little bit of influence to leverage. However, I did shoot him, the Paladin.
From what we know of him, that's less of a bad thing than you might think it is.
No further questions.
It just nods. And then it turns back to you and says, well, I need to verify the product that you've brought me in order to ensure that you've earned your payment.
And you're aware of its effects on us mere mortals, aren't you?
Its effects will affect anything sentient. The knowledge contained in that book is caustic to anything that can think. I am going to partition a version of myself that will be able to read and parse the knowledge and then transfer it over to myself.
Right. Well, Mr. Belendi sure had some interesting nighttime reading choices, but I don't think any of that knowledge concerns me necessarily. I want to be clear. I'm more than happy to help you tear down this system full of lies. And I'm more than happy for gate travel to grind to a halt. But I'm not a terrorist. I'm not about to go and start blowing things up for you. I hope you understand that.
I don't think that you could, even if you wanted to.
No, but I could if I didn't want to. Pyotr tries to look mysterious and does weird things with his eyebrows.
Make a fast talk check with the penalty dice.
That's a fail.
Yeah, it just regards you blankly for a few seconds.
The eyebrows keep moving for too long. They just keep on up and down on each side, and then I stop and look away ashamedly.
It, still looking at you, reaches over, grabs the wrapped book, and then you see it kind of shudder, and the eyes go from this kind of incandescent blue to a light shade of green. And then it unwraps the book.
You're all going to want to look away for this part. And Pyotr turns around and covers his face.
I just looked at Lias. What is the mask doing?
Staring.
Okay. The green eyes meet yours. What's Juno doing?
Juno's very curious. But she knows. She knows what the book has told her and reached out to her and has tried to pull her in. So she stands in front of Glade so Glade cannot watch.
Oh, what? Okay, cool. But are you you're facing away as well? Or are you facing towards?
Facing towards, but looking away, like looking down.
Okay, gotcha. So not looking at the thing.
No.
Copy.
Not looking at Glade.
Not looking at Glade.
Okay. Did you do lift? What are you doing?
I'll also be looking away, but I will take a stance beside Juno, the Faith, and instead of facing towards the book, I'm going to face away from the book and just keep an eye on the duct tape situation.
Fair enough.
Juno also puts her hand on her pistol.
Okay. Major Ziggy, or at least this partition of Major Ziggy, unwraps the book, and as it is exposed, you all feel a slight pressure and a slight compulsion to look towards it. Now, it's slight enough that if you physically can't or have turned away, it's not enough to make you fully move your entire body. However, for anyone to whom that statement doesn't apply, like anyone at all,
what am I rolling?
make a sanity check.
Don't face towards it.
I will spend 5 luck
To succeed.
to succeed.
Okay. So you don't take any sanity damage. I shouldn't say you don't take any. You take 1 point of sanity damage. And as the book opens, there is this kind of shuddering sound, and you guys can hear is like the bed that this Major Ziggy in Geo's body is on just starts shaking as if Geo is shaking as well. And then you just hear just like 2 quick like turning of pages as if it's just like reading insanely quickly. Juno, superimposed over your sight in this weird double exposure, double image kind of perception, a time lapse kind of appears, and it's this, you see a civilization springing up. You see them discovering these abilities by making sacrifices to dark gods. You see the civilization spreading and spreading and spreading until they begin looking to the farthest reaches of their galaxy, and they send out emissaries encased in ice until the civilization, this empire, like all empires, falls to infighting and collapses into dust. And then you see, as if you were looking through human eyes, looking up into the sky, a blue sky, and you see a single red point of light with a long white tail behind it streaking through the sky, and then through the air, this explosion, and you blink, and there's the vision of you on a horse, and you are riding up to the crater, and all of a sudden, an impression pushes into your mind, and it's the impression of safety, help, serenity. And all of that coalesces into a single idea of be calm, don't be scared. And you feel something drawn from you, some knowledge. And then from within, this ecstatic religious worship of whatever entity has touched you occurs, and you, whatever this vision is, just dissolves quickly into this impression of hyper-realized emotions, rage, like kind of this ecstatic joy that is almost indistinguishable from rage. And this through it all, this pervasive madness, this feeling of being like pulled on by an exterior force. And then you blink and you're back in the medbay. And you look up and you can see Major Ziggy with the light green eyes staring directly at you as this unhinged smile crosses its face. And then it blinks, shakes its head, and it's back to blue. And you can see, for the first time on this blank face, fear. And it goes, the Jesuits have one. They found an angel. And an alarm starts going off in the station. The alarm going off. Radiation alert. And then it stops quickly. And then another alarm. It's venting atmosphere. And then it stops. Back to the radiation alarm. Back to the venting atmosphere alarm. And then you can see Major Ziggy just pull up a terminal that's kind of beside the bed that is usually used to monitor vitals. And then they just kind of like touch it, and the screen flickers, and then it displays a security camera that is looking into the Gizon Shangri-La cantina. As you see the image start to stutter, and everyone in the cantina is standing up and looking around in a kind of panicked way. And then angry red lines start to break apart. It seems the back wall of the cantina itself. There's a man who's standing in the back of the cantina, kind of like at his booth, and one of the red lines just bisects him, and he just goes, and you see the top half of his body that was bisected by this red line just fall off. Everyone in the cantina starts screaming. And then through these red lines, you see hands, human hands appear and kind of pull themselves through. Figures, human figures, all armed with assault rifles, except for one, who's wearing a wide-brimmed hat. And he takes it off as he steps onto the floor of the cantina, puts it down. You see the man with the scar on his face. He says,
Be not afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all people.
You see him, and even in this like grainy security footage, you can see all of the veins that run up from his neck and through his face are black. And it seems to even have gotten into his eyes. He just says,
I bring news. The rapture is nigh. The angels have been released from their captivity in heaven. They've come to save us all from sin and toil. And you all shall be a part of this.
and then you can see the Jesuits step forward and they start grabbing people and tasing them. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Thanks for making it this far. This podcast is edited, mixed, and mastered by me, Brian Gashgarian. All the music in the podcast is composed by me. Special thanks to Carlin and Leah. Could you tell it was her in the ad? Bet you couldn't. Bet you couldn't. For their voiceover work. And to Alex, Leah, Tom, and Catherine for lending me their talent for this. You can find us on Insta, TikTok, and Twitch at The Stars Aren't All Right, or on Twitter at TSAA Podcast. As a reward for making it to the end, I would like to remind you that the assassin bug wears its victims' exoskeletons as camouflage. Most of all, thanks to you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Are
nor, nor.
Or nor.
I think the Christmas pageant line has to be accurate. It has to be a 9-year-old girl going, "Be not afraid, for I bring you news of great joy."